hentai. You love
Yes,
it, I love it. What's not to love?
I
It's a
love it.
medium that sets the sky as the limit and delivers on fantasies you didn't even know you had.
It
Of
sure
all the hentai out
does.
there, Overflow is definitely one of them. Standing Tall is one of the most
I think
well-animated series with a spicy
my
vanilla
favorite
twist
tags
that
would be
truly
like
lives up to
maybe
its name,
Elf,
and
MILF,
overflowing the viewer with emotions not typically
NTR,
associated with hentai through its superb
Monster
narrative
Girl.
discourse. This is no more apparent than during the
I'll
show's
I'll
first
even take
episode,
some
where our main character
Futanari,
John
you
Overflow
know
is
what I
brought into
mean?
a perfectly relatable and wacky conundrum as he has to decide which of his sisters he wants to fuck. Yeah,
Yup.
let's try that again. If you ask around for what the most popular hentai is out there, you'll likely have most people in agreement as to what the answer is.
I don't
Sure,
like
some guy
vanilla.
will undoubtedly say Bible Black, and that's great.
I have never
Let's
seen
get
this
back
one
to the
still.
diamond home. However, of the people that aren't over the dying age of 27, without a doubt, the most common answer you'll hear is that of Overflow, and for good reason. For one, it's well, the correct one, but even without looking at the viewer charts, a lot of people already have a decent grasp as to the popularity of this hentai. Having been released in early 2020, Overflow quickly became the talk of the
Yeah,
town within a lot of online
it was
communities
average for
regarding
me.
the entire anime. Not just by setting a new standard of animation within hentai, but also by delivering a neatly packaged story featuring a
Too
love
slow.
triangle that sees the characters undergo some
Not
change
enough
and
action.
development throughout its runtime. And I, personally, just could not give less of a shit about it if I tried. What the fuck, man? Okay, let me explain. In no way am I trying to scrutinize Overflow in and of itself. No matter what I say in this video, taking source material that looks like this and turning it into the most popular animated hentai on
Yeah,
the
you
market
want
is
some
nothing
action, you
short
want
of fucking
Euphoria,
amazing. It's not
you
like I
know?
don't get the reason people like it either. Not only is it without a doubt one of the best animated series in the world of hentai, but it's also very much a show that you can feel is designed for mass appeal. Outside of the fact that we're watching, well, animated pornography, everything in the show is very much down to earth. Little suspension of disbelief is required to actually watch it. There's nothing overtly weird or foreign going on. It's basically just an
Yeah.
animated edition of what you've been watching anyways. Not to mention that the two main girls featured in this are pretty cute to boot. Like, I'm no predator, but you dress like this, you better carry a firearm because pepper spray will not stop me. So what's the problem then? It's just so fucking boring. You see, in an effort to appeal to everyone, a lot of things have had to be turned way down to make the show
Yeah,
more approachable. It just
some
removes
vanilla
any
ones
of
are
the character
good.
the show
Like,
could possibly have.
which one was
Hentai
that?
is, by nature, a very
Iliana-san,
unhinged medium, and as
Liliana-san,
long
I
as the
don't
realm
know.
of
You know,
animation
the
takes away
chocolate
most of
girl.
the limitations of a live
That
action
one.
production,
That one was
anything is
good.
possible. I'd say that at its core, and that's the appeal of the medium. Remove any and all boundaries and morality in an effort to try your hardest to just make the thing most people will lose their come to that avail, use whatever you see fit. Tentacles, ahegao, monster
Oh.
girls, children. Discarding relation to the real world allows for
No.
anything to be produced. And while it certainly certainly can go a bit far at times, it's also the driving force which makes hentai so unique when compared to other forms of smut. Now, obviously, not every new release has to be Euphoria, and I'm not even trying to propose anything drastic either, but even just in regards to small things,
Yeah,
it
Euphoria
feels
is
like Overflow just doesn't
nuts.
take advantage of the medium it's being made in whatsoever. For comparison,
Oh,
take a
Estelle
show like
for,
Fallen
oh
Worlds,
my
which,
god.
for all intents and purposes,
I
is
love
also
him.
a pretty down-to-earth vanilla hentai. But the main difference between the two is that Fallen Girls uses aspects unique
Even
to
this one was better.
animation to both
Little
set
bit.
up and executed sex scenes. Whether it's the main girl having a slow motion fall through the floor at the start of the series, a wall randomly collapsing as part of a joke, or just downright ridiculous initiation of the deed, a lot of these aspects, if converted to live action, would just end up feeling extremely goofy or out of place. But because
Heck,
of
I will
already
even take
suspended
some maid
reality
one,
provided
you
by
know,
hentai,
if you
it's
see in the
very fitting to have these
Victoria
elements in the
maid
show
one.
itself, and it adds massively to it. Meanwhile, Overflow seems to almost deliberately not include anything from that category, staying as close to realism as it possibly can, refusing to use the advantages that the medium allows, which, frankly, does little more than just make it
Yeah.
a dull watching experience. It's like slice of life for hentai,
You
just
need some
without the comedy
excitement.
or any of the other aspects that made that concept work in the first place. Remember what I said earlier about how the show features some genuine development for the three main characters?
This is very close to being
I
like
was
the
lying. In fact, the
ecchi show
personality of all
than
three stay
a
very much
hentai.
within the confines of what you would expect if I told you that the main character is a self-insert, Korone is a cute childhood friend, and Ayane is a bit of a tsundere. As you will quickly find that any sort of actual character progression
I think I would get more excited watching High School after that than Overflow.
which makes sense from a practical standpoint.
Sorry, not
Why would you
sorry.
lock away half of your female cast from being with your main character, but for what is supposed to be a vanilla story like this, it just feels like such a fucking cop. Now I can already read some of the comments before they're written. Hard. Why are you focusing on all these nitpicks? How about instead of diving into all these menial details, you look at the myriad of positives that the show has to offer instead, like the good animation, realistic setup, a plethora of sex scenes. Even if you didn't like it yourself, what good is there in trying to change everyone's opinion on what is obviously a popular show?
I don't want
Why bother
realistic, I
criticizing
just
it?
want some big
let people
booba.
enjoy things. Let people
Look at the sunburn.
listen.
Lift heavy, get a wife.
I
Oh,
hadn't really thought want to put myself
Milkers.
if being honest, but yeah, no, I can definitely
Look,
see
he
your
looks
point
like
there.
my friend.
However, okay, hear me out here, just a shot in the wind, okay? Counterpoint, instead of that, how about I fucking kill you, huh? How about that? How's that for an alternative, huh? How about I fucking kill you?
Oh, white beard, no. What the fuck?
Because you know what? You're right. A lot of the complaints I have about this show are also things that could be said about hentai I really enjoy. But the main difference to those series is that the smut scenes in Overflow are just so
Oh, today I
gory and dull
saw.
that I can
Which
barely
one was
bring
that?
myself to watch them.
New one
At
came
best,
out,
I'd
the
say there's a
succubus
couple
one.
scenes with a genuinely good build-up, but once it gets to the sex scenes themselves, well, and honestly, I think that's what it really comes down to, because despite how good the animation, story, or overall characters might be, if the show doesn't actually turn you on, what the fuck does any of that even matter in the first place? I love
Yep.
Attack on Titan. It's a great show. Tidy and add a scene where Armin very nonchalantly rubs his flaccid penis up and down against the crystal where Annie is held inside, before, after a couple minutes, spontaneously splurging all over it and then silently cleaning up after himself before giving the crystal a pat
Yeah.
and then pretending nothing happened. Well,
I
technically
mean, he
now
might have
classified
touching
as
himself
not an
there. Who
immediate
knows?
banger show beyond that, I still would
Doing in the
call it a
basement,
hentai,
whatever.
because ultimately we're judging by
In the
different criteria
dungeon.
here. While the supporting elements of a show can certainly add to its value, there is a fundamental case which has to be reached for hentai, and that's in the form of the question, am I turned on by what I'm currently watching? If the answer is no, then the rest doesn't really matter. It's failed its purpose. Sure, you might say it has some merit beyond that, or it's just generally interesting to watch, but it's not a good hentai. And that's also why most
Okay, if
people
you want
who've watched
story,
up until now, rather,
watch
to
the
be honest,
stepmother's
avoid it.
sin.
Like, who fucking cares what the character development and their animated pornography is like if the porn itself is not worth watching? I certainly didn't download a hentai to be amazed by its in-depth character level or superb storytelling. I did it to beat off. And if I can't even do that, then what reason is there really for me to be watching in the first place? There's not much I can say or do to justify my stance about it either, as it is a very personal matter. I truly wish that I could say I had a good time with this one, but sadly I just didn't. And if you came here as a fan of the show, looking forward to hearing me praise it, then I'm sorry. Sorry that you have such shit taste! I get why people like it. I get why it's such a popular show, but it's for those exact same reasons that I just don't care. I'm not saying that the show is
Astolfo.
perfect. In fact, if someone
Oh my
completely
god, I
watched
want
hentai
that
and was to ask me
Astolfo
what the
as,
show
you know,
style
you know
was,
what I
this would
mean?
be a hard contender. As by all objective
I want
measures,
that
this is a
that
really
pussy.
good hentai and a genuinely good introduction to the medium itself. Sure as shit is a bit more welcoming than the stuff I started off with.
What are you doing? I want to fuck. Take it easy. Take it easy.
Get away! Get away from me!
They just don't make them like they used to. But for anyone who's
Maybe
looking
I
to get
should
some
finally
hentai
see
that
this.
can be strictly provided by just clicking the random button on the amateur section of Pornhub, should you fap to? Overflow? No.